Hi, I'm Shannon from houseimprovements.com, and continuing on with our deck series here, today we're going to look at adding a skirting from the deck down to the ground, or in our case this concrete pad that it's built on. So just to basically close in the underside of the deck, try to keep out rodents or whatever. We will be adding an access panel just around the corner, so we'll go through that rather quickly as well. I realize this may not be exactly what you could have. You're more than likely going to have ground, like a dirt edge here. I've actually done something similar to this, even though it was dirt, using pressure treated lumber and spiked through the ground with some really long nails or even pieces of rebar. So it's just more than anything, all you need is something that'll keep it from swinging in and out. But anyways, for our case here, we're on concrete. I've attached this pressure treated lumber to the concrete using Tapcons. I do have another video showing how to use different fasteners to attach wood to concrete, so you can just refer to that on our YouTube channel. In this case, kind of one of the only things different is I use these spacers down below. Get rid of that ant. These spacers here just to raise the wood up off the concrete. The concrete sloped, and rain will still go through the top of the deck, so as it flows through and want to come out here, I didn't want this to act as a dam and then down the road rot quicker as well. So I just used some basically some puckboard or PVC, and it's not very thick. It's maybe 1/4 inch thick. The hole in it was just because I had these left over from a different project, so that has really nothing to do with this. But anyways, I just laid them underneath there, and then when I drilled and put the Tapcon fasteners in, that's where I placed them. And I don't know, they're about every 2 feet or so. There was no magic number there. Every 3 feet's probably good. So we're just using 1x6 actually fence pickets, so they're pressure treated. We're just cutting them to length. I'm trying to keep them up off the concrete a little bit too, just so they aren't wicking water and moisture up and rotting prematurely. We're using the ACQ deck type screws. I guess that's about it. So we'll reset the camera, and I'll put some of these boards on, and then we'll get around the corner and build that gate. Okay, so we've already that's the wrong one. We've already cut the boards, treated any cut ends that are going to be exposed, and pre-drilled holes as well, so that we aren't splitting, because we are putting the screws fairly close to the edges. So you can see I've pre-drilled the holes, and really all I did, I just made up a template, and I could stack 3 or 4 together and drill 3 or 4 at a time. So just kind of sped things up a little bit. Now, depending on your situation, you know, I've got a fairly long length here, and really what I did is I just started in the center with a board, and I worked my way that way. And I started to work back this way again, a couple boards, and now we've gotten into the video. So that way it should end up looking fairly balanced at the ends. You'll end up with a cut strip. So just measure it out, plan it out a little bit that way. You can also, if you want, make up a jig for this space. I'm just really just freehanding it and eyeballing it. And if you look back there, with a little bit of practice, you get pretty good at not measuring. So I kind of know in my mind what I want for a space. And really all it is we don't want to put these ones right tight. These won't shrink quite as much as the deck boards will. So I want to open that space up so there's some airflow under there to let things dry out when it does get wet. So, okay, so we'll just hold it up there. With any luck at all, these all fit, and I don't have to recut anything. And in my case, I'm just pushing them all up tight to the bottom side of the deck, because there's an overhang there, and then getting them fastened on. And my concrete isn't exactly level right here, so I've kind of got my boards stacked up because they had to slightly start getting shorter as I went along further this way. So hopefully I've laid them in the right order getting ready, and we won't have to mess around with that too much. And if you aren't trusting yourself eyeballing, just put a level on here every third or fourth one, just to be sure that you're staying plumb. Okay, so we've gotten to the corner here. Just to make this the same as the other end, I am going to put this board on here first, and then this one will overlap onto it. Okay, so now what we've got is we're down to basically making a small swinging gate here, so they have access if they have to go under there or if they want to slide anything under there for a little bit of storage. So really all I did is figured out a measurement for the height of the pickets, and I didn't make it quite as long, like for instance as this one, because we need a little bit extra clearance down here off the ground, and we want a little bit of clearance here as well. So basically what I would have normally cut for pickets, I took about another 1/2 inch off just to be sure we had a little more clearance. And I've got all the parts sitting over here, so I'll bring them over, and I guess I'll just kind of put it together right here on the ground so you can see. It's pretty basic. So okay, so I'm just going to build a very simple gate. So it'll have the pickets, so it'll all basically look the same from the exterior, and there'll just be a couple of horizontal pieces in the back to attach the pickets to here and here. I can't go up here, or it isn't going to close quite right. So I made these just maybe 1/2 inch shorter than the opening. I'm going to lay them out here, spaced about 16 inches. And shoot, I forgot my square. So I just spaced them out the same distance. I'm just going to run a square across to get them equaled up. Like so. I'll double check that. 16 to 16 to outside. And I've got my pickets all pre-drilled, just like I did over on the other side. I'm going to put a bit of PL on here as well, construction adhesive I should say. And I'm hanging just the back side of the first picket off just slightly, maybe 1/4 inch. Just make sure that I start out square here. Good there. Just double check that again. It felt like it moved. It's been a little difficult because I've got some gauges on there. Oh, and actually it's pretty good. And I'll just put all the pickets on. Just going to lay them all on there so I can get them spaced out evenly. Okay, so we'll just try it in the opening here before we go too much further, in case we have to adjust anything before that PL sets up. That construction adhesive, I should say. So it looks like we're going to be pretty good. Pretty much I just want to adjust it by putting some shims underneath it until I get it the way I want it. Oh, I think my Yeah, my top 1x6 is actually a little high. It's not allowing me to go up to where I want to go. So what I'm going to do is I'll just set my saw blade depth, and I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off the top of this, and it'll be away from those screws, so I shouldn't cut those. So I'll do that here quickly, and then that should give me a little bit more room to adjust it. So we'll have to remember to go back and just treat that top edge with a wood preservative. That should be better. Yeah, I got a little more movement there. Okay, so I'm just adjusting it until I'm happy with the spacing and everything. We'll get the hinges on, and then the rest of the hardware. I'm keeping this hinge down. I can't put it up here because the gate isn't as solid there. I want to put it down here where I have that support going across. I'll just get it just below those screws, I guess. And over on this side, we're just going to have a simple barrel bolt, which is this type of latch right here, and a little handle like that. Okay, let's see, what do we need for bits here? This will work for that. So we'll do the barrel bolt first. Just measuring it to see if it's straight. These aren't as big of a screw, so I'm not pre-drilling them. If you find it splitting, then you may have to pre-drill yours, but okay, throw the handle on there, then we should be good. So like I said, you may not be going to all this extent of whatever you're doing, but just gives you an idea what you can do. Stay on there. Okay, with any luck at all, should open and close and swing and not hit the ground over here. Perfect. And like I said, I'll have to go inside here and treat that cut edge that we had to adjust there. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful as far as skirting in the bottom of your deck. There are other options out there. Obviously, your imagination is kind of the limit here. There's lattice, there's some different, even some, they're kind of a fabric type thing that you can put on here. So whatever you decide to do, this just happens to be the choice for this particular customer. And also the hardware we put on, you know, that black all goes with the rest of the accents on the deck as well. So whatever you're doing, this will just give you a few pointers on maybe how to get there. If you have any other questions about you know, what we did on this whole deck project, we have a whole series of videos on that you can find on our YouTube channel. And about the easiest way to get there is if you go to our website at house-improvements.com. And once you're on the website, you'll find a bunch of articles that we have, as well as our forum link and a link to our YouTube videos right there. So it's probably the easiest way to get there. If you have any questions about this video or anything DIY related on some renovation you're doing, please use the forum. Post your question there in the appropriate topic, and I'll be sure to get back to you with an answer as soon as I can. Thanks a lot for watching.